It's week 9, day 57 of my full-time chronic pain rehabilitation journey. I'm Jason. I had a script for today, but I'm going to go completely off script because I experienced what can only be described in my mind as a breakthrough, a miracle. I want to share that with you. Today I had my 9th treatment of ketamine. It's a psychedelic approved by the FDA for the treatment of anxiety and depression. And it was the most amazing trip I've ever experienced. It's hard to describe these trips to people that haven't experienced them, but you basically have a dissociative or out-of-body experience. But that's not what was so amazing. What was amazing was, for the first time that I can remember, I was able to feel love for myself. And people who struggle with depression and anxiety and things of that nature often struggle with a sense of self-love. And when people tell them good things about themselves, they don't believe them because they're not credible. It didn't come from within, right? And I think I started to reverse this process before the ketamine trips. Again, I'm on my 9th. I went down to southern Utah and participated in a religious ceremony that consumed ayahuasca, which is a psychedelic plant from South America. And during that experience, I had what I thought was the first glimpse of something beautiful within me. I would never use the word beautiful to describe myself before that experience. I would never talk about myself in terms of self-love, that I love myself. I couldn't say these things with a straight face because I didn't believe them. It didn't ring true to me. So ayahuasca gave me this first glimpse of something good inside of me that was real, that I knew wasn't made up. It was authentic. It was just there. It wasn't something that I had to strive to become, something I had to achieve. It was just there. It was something I could build on. And from there, I was able to move forward, and I started down this ketamine path. And after repeating the treatments 9 times today, I had noticed along the way that the quality of the psychedelic experience reflected kind of the state of my mind. And it was getting better, meaning the experience was much more holistic and integrated. And on the 9th time, it was the most amazing trip I've ever had. I felt whole for the first time in a long time. I felt like my soul was kind of complete and well integrated. And it was at that moment that I felt self-love. I actually could say to myself, and I said this out loud, I love myself. And I know how elusive this can be for others because I've heard people in my chronic pain coping group struggle with self-love for so long. And even after years of therapy, I've never been able to say it with a straight face. And today I can say that I love myself. I don't know how that's possible, but I do. I love me now. And I think with this, being able to build on this, I can become what I'm supposed to become now because I'm not afraid of you anymore. Before I loved myself. I was afraid of everybody because if they didn't love me or like me, it meant there was something wrong with me. I had nothing to counteract it, nothing to fight back with. That's not to say I'm always right or, a great person, but I at least know there's something foundational there that's okay. It doesn't need legitimization from outside anymore because I'm finally willing to legitimize myself. And that changes the way you interact with the world. It just does. You're not looking to others for something you need. You're able to finally give. And I'm hoping that with this ability, it feels like a super ability, to be completely honest, and I hope it's still there tomorrow. But I feel like I can finally make these videos. I'm hoping I can finally make these videos with a vision of who's on the other side of the camera, not as a judge and a jury who's weighing and measuring me, but as a brother or a sister in need of help. That I'm finally, maybe just finally able to get through to. Because I'm not so self-obsessed anymore. I'm not feeling vulnerable and fragile like I felt before. And so this has been, of all the things I've experienced so far in my journey, this has been the most momentous. I would call it a revelation. And it's the most important revelation you'll ever have, which is the revelation that you can love yourself. It's not a different kind of love than I would show to anyone else. So for example, at the beginning of my trip, I felt intense love towards my daughter. I said it out loud, I love you. I was feeling it really strongly for my wife, for my family. And at the end of the trip, all that same sentiment came back around onto me. And I finally realized, why am I singling myself out as if I'm something different, as if I'm something other, as if I'm not worthy of love? And the answer is, I am. I am, just like you. But me telling you won't help, because you have to experience it for yourself. And so I've been an evangelist for psychedelics, but now I'm totally converted and on board, because if these experiences can reintegrate your soul, in essence, and I think that's what they do. I think it puts your soul back together. It breaks you down and builds you back up and makes you whole again in some way, that you should try it. You should experience this psychedelic healing, because it is, for lack of a better word, a miracle. I'm not going to shy away from the camera. I'm not embarrassed that I'm crying. It's just who I am. I feel it strongly. I'm not going to hide it anymore. I'm not afraid. Well, a little bit, but I'm not afraid. I'm going to be strong going forward. Stronger anyway. And each day I'm going to get a little bit better. But I want to share with the world what I've experienced, because it has healed me in a way that therapy never did. Not even ever came close. And I just don't know what to say, other than you should, if you have any of these kinds of problems, seek this treatment. I can't guarantee it'll have the same effect on you. I mean, it took me multiple ayahuasca trips, 9 trips on ketamine to get to a point where I felt like my soul was coming back together, like I was being put back together in the right way. So it's not easy. I'm not selling something here that's simple, because my ayahuasca experiences were pretty traumatic. The ketamine experiences are kind of brutal. It leaves me really emotional afterwards, which you're seeing now. I'm emotionally vulnerable. But they can be very emotionally taxing. And there are after effects with ketamine where you feel sick the next day, and motion sick immediately afterward. It's not pleasant. And a lot of the things that get drudged up from the depths of your soul are things that you don't want to look at. And so it is really, really hard work, and not for the faint of heart. But I have to tell you, it's completely worth it. And if you've never tried psychedelics before to treat any of these types of disorders, you need to, because it can order your soul, reorder your soul correctly, and fill you with something that is the greatest gift of all, which is a sense of love, a love for yourself, not just for your family, not just for your children, not just for your neighbor, not even just for your pet, but for you. And so I don't want to drag this out, but what more can I say? It's the most amazing experience I've ever had. Well, maybe the birth of my firstborn son might have been the most amazing experience I've ever had. But short of that, my own personal experience of something that's changed me and healed me, this might be number one. And so, in the fight for your life, fight with everything you have, including a psychedelic arsenal, because it can change you. It is changing me for the better. It's helping me heal in a way that I never thought possible. I've compared psychedelics to a mixing bowl or some kind of Play-Doh set that will take your soul, which is the dough, and mold it, shape it, knead it, pull it apart, stretch it, put it back together. And as it does this, the consistency of your person changes. All the lumps get smoothed out. If you have lumps of fear in your soul, they'll be broken up and spread back into the batter. And what comes out has a much better consistency and feels so much more stable and right. And that's what's happened to me. And so please fight for your life in every way possible, and do not exclude psychedelics. They can change you. No matter what you do, even if you don't try psychedelics, keep fighting. but I hope you will.